I'm getting ready to make bacalaitos, and in English, it's codfish fritters. And these are the ingredients that you are going to need: sazon pack, some baking powder, some codfish, some oil, some water, some flour, and sazon complete. So I'm just going to add in all of my dry ingredients into the flour and give the flour a good mix. So that way all the ingredients are incorporated and all the flour is seasoned well, so that way when we're frying the fish, everything is nicely seasoned. So you see I'm just giving it a good mix. And for the codfish, what I did beforehand, I actually soaked it in water because codfish has a tendency to be salty. So I soaked it in water for a couple of hours to try to remove some of the salt. And then I just broke it up with my hands. And you'll see me adding in that later. So I'm going to add in the water now, and I want this batter to be like a pancake batter. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin, but you want it where it looks like a pancake batter. And I'm going to keep adding the water, and all the full recipe will be down in the description box below, so that way you know exactly what I did in this video. So I'm going to keep mixing until I get the right consistency that I want. I'm going to add in the fish soon, and then I see at that point that the batter is still too thick for me, and you'll see that shortly. I'm just scraping down the sides of the bowl to make sure all the flour is incorporated into the wet batter. And there goes the codfish. And you can use however much amount of fish you want. This is about a pound of codfish. So that's what I used. And then I'm going to get some more water and add a little bit more water, just so that the way the batter is a little bit thinner than what it is, because it's kind of thick right now. Like I said, you want this to be like a pancake batter mix. And for you that do not know, this is actually a Puerto Rican street food. And you can find it in many parts of Chicago. Well, I'm from Chicago, so in Chicago you will find this all over the place. It's an awesome street food. It is not the healthiest because we are frying here, but it is delicious. So I'm taking the batter, and I'm just going to put a spoonful in to make one fritter at a time, and my pan is big enough too. And you can actually, these two fritters are on the thicker side, but you can actually take your batter and thin it out with your spoon, which you'll see me do on the second batch. So I'm just going to fry them, and I'm also going to check to make sure they don't stick to the bottom. You'll see me do that. You're only going to fry these for about maybe 3 to 4 minutes each side. They fry very quickly, and they get so nice and crispy. They're just delicious. So here I'm just going to move them from the bottom so they're not sticking. And you can already see that the bottom is forming a nice crispy crust. And in the back, you don't see the background, but my family is hovering over me to these, because they love these, so they all want me to hurry up and get this cooked so they could have some. And it doesn't take long to cook these at all. I think the total amount of time to fry the whole bowl of all that batter was maybe 15 minutes. So I'm going to give it the first flip. I'm going to flip these a couple of times because I want to make sure that everything is cooked through. And these are on the thicker side, but we can't thin them out. If you choose to thin them out, you can. But I want to make sure that there's no raw dough or raw flour in the middle, and the fish is cooked as well. And you'll see it doesn't take long to cook at all. And my house is already smelling amazing from the seasonings. And you can use, if you choose not to use codfish, you can use another type of fish if you choose. It is all up to your taste and your preference. I did not put salt in this because, one, the fish is salty, and the seasonings, like the sazon, has salt in it, so I did not add any extra salt. I'm just checking to make sure. I'm going to get ready probably to flip them over again. I'm going to do this until they are fully cook through, and you can see that they're so crispy now. And then I'm going to place these on a paper towel lined plate so that way all the excess grease, I can get some of that off. And no, this is not a healthy dish. I do not cook this often, but maybe a couple of times a year because, yeah, there's a lot of oil going on and I try to stay away from the oil. But this is a good treat every once in a while. You can see how hard they're frying. But this is an awesome dish. And you could, like I said earlier, you could change the seasoning. You don't have to use sazon. You could use something else if you want. But this is the traditional way that I know of how to make the bacalito. And I just love these. So they're pretty much done. So I should be removing these pretty soon from the frying pan and starting another batch. And like I said, I'm putting this on a paper towel lined plate to absorb any of that excess oil that's on there. And my family's in the background waiting to be taste testers for this. Now I'm going to put in another spoonful, and this time you'll see that I'm trying to spread the batter out to make it thinner. And when you do it thin like that, they come out even more crispier. And that's all you have to do. Just take your spoon and spread it a little bit. And you can use a smaller spoon if you want smaller fritters. That's your preference. So you continue to do this until all your batter is done. And then this is the final product, and I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you next time.